All right. Good morning, everyone. It is now 10:30 a.m. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday morning. I am here in Barbados in the actual Shridath Ramphal Centre's conference room of the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. So good morning again to all of our friends, colleagues, students, and future students here joining us. So on behalf of the director and the staff of the Shridath Ramphal Centre for International Trade, Law, Policy and Services here at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the official launch of our new short courses. Thank you for taking the time to join us as we introduce these new programs that respond directly to the needs of governments, businesses, customs administrations, regulatory agencies, legal practitioners, and trade professionals across Barbados, the Caribbean, and beyond. Today marks an important milestone for the SRC as we introduce and we continue to boost our commitment to strengthening the regional capacity through practical, internationally relevant, and professionally delivered training. Here at the SRC, we work on several areas, from teaching or Masters in International Trade Policy, and I have two colleagues on this call already. We conduct research as required by stakeholders and clients across the region. We provide policy advice, technical assistance. We engage in capacity building, professional training, and further regional development. Under professional training, we are offering new short courses, which continues the tradition of providing participants with high quality instruction delivered by recognized experts in the field. But this launch is just for 3 new upcoming courses. We have already been offering short courses before, and on the screen you can see our previous short courses offered in trade and the blue economy, trade and sustainable development goals, and international trade for business professionals. But today's offering is a bit new because what we are seeking to deliver to the public, the short courses, but packaged in a new way. Completely online, completely self-paced, and in 3 areas: competition law and the economics of competition law, customs and trade facilitation, and public procurement, as 3 short courses that will be self-paced and launched for August 1st, 2026. So today's session is an introduction to our upcoming offerings. All right. Sorry, doing multiple things. Good. All right. So the course details, as I spoke about just now, there are 3 self-paced online short courses designed to equip professional students and lifelong learners with a practical knowledge in international trade, law, customs, and public procurement. Each course is 100% online and self-paced, which allows participants with your busy schedules to learn at your own convenience. Upon successful completion, participants will receive a certificate of completion from the SRC. The courses are currently priced at the US dollars $325 per course, or 750 Barbados dollars. But you may ask, why is it that we're seeking to offer just these 3 self-paced and online? Because we're living in an international era where international trade is becoming increasingly complex. Supply chains continue to evolve, digital trade is expanding rapidly, governments are modernizing procurement systems, competition authorities are becoming much more active, and businesses are operating within increasingly sophisticated regulatory environments. As these changes accelerate, the demand for professionals equipped with specialized knowledge has never been greater. Success today requires more than just academic qualifications. It requires practical expertise, and it requires technical competence. And it also requires an understanding of international best practice. And this is exactly why we have sought to introduce these new SRC short courses, and they have been delivered to reflect 3 critical pillars of modern economic governance: facilitating international trade, ensuring effective public spending through procurement, and promoting competitive markets. Together, these 3 courses will equip professionals, with the knowledge needed to contribute meaningfully to stronger institutions, more resilient economies, and greater regional competitiveness. So the first course that we're going to talk about today is the course which deals with customs and trade facilitation. International trade depends upon efficient borders. Everyday customs administrations perform the delicate task of facilitating legitimate trade while protecting national security, collecting revenue, and preventing illicit activities. This course seeks to explore the principles and modern practices that underpin contemporary customs administration, as well as providing participants with an understanding of the importance of customs in trade facilitation. This course introduces major international customs and trade facilitation instruments, highlights the role in promoting efficient, transparent, and secure cross-border trade. Students and participants will examine modern customs management practices, including human resource management, risk management, post-clearance audit, and intelligence management. Through these topics, students will gain an insight into international best practices that enhance compliance, improve revenue collection, and support economic development. So what will be covered specifically in the modules? There are approximately 6 modules in the Customs and Trade Facilitation short course. The first module sets the context of understanding the importance of the CARIFORUM European Union Economic Partnership Agreement, the EPA. Participants will then be introduced to trade facilitation and the related international instruments. There must be an understanding of international customs instruments and managing customs administrations locally. And then the course moves to look at the international best practices in customs operations, such as post-clearance audit and risk management, which are pillars within trade facilitation. And then the course ends on the importance of intelligence management. Our second offering is Caribbean public procurement, because public procurement represents one of the largest areas of government expenditure in every single national economy. Ensuring that procurement systems are transparent, they're competitive, efficient, and accountable is absolutely essential for sustainable national development. This course examines international procurement principles, procurement planning, tendering procedures, for instance, evaluation methodologies, and contract management, sustainable procurement, international best practices as well. Participants will develop a deeper understanding of how procurement contributes to good governance, economic efficiency, and public trust. This course is particularly valuable for public officers, procurement practitioners, consultants, auditors, suppliers, and policymakers across any field. Within the course, we will talk about international best practice in several fundamental aspects of public procurement, from the basic essentials of good procurement to international cutting-edge value enhancement strategies. Participants will analyze the applicability and/or the adaptability to the Caribbean's smaller, developing and vulnerable economies, with due consideration to the multiple and often competing objectives of public procurement. Modules include the significance of public procurement, the public procurement cycle, sustainable public procurement as a tool for growth and development, the importance of procurement and integrity. And then we move to look at electronic government procurement and modern procurement strategies such as public-private partnerships. Our third short course, will be the competition law and the economics of competition law, because healthy competition drives innovation. It recognizes investment, it protects consumers, and it promotes economic growth as Caribbean countries and economies continue to modernize an understanding of competition law. And this is very important for our future. This short course bridges both legal and the economic perspective by examining competition policy, market power, anti-competitive conduct, the abuse of dominance, the presence and existence of cartels, what happens with mergers and acquisitions, consumer welfare, and market regulation. Participants will gain a practical understanding of how competition law shapes modern markets and supports fair and efficient economic development. This course is particularly relevant for lawyers, economists, regulators, policymakers, business leaders, and corporate professionals, all dealing within the trade environment. So participants, again, will understand practically the economics used in competition law investigations and enforcement. This course examines key concepts such as market definition, market power, dominance, monopolization, anti-competitive agreements, merger control, vertical restraints, and the use of economic evidence in legal proceedings. Special attention is given to the realities of small economies and regional arrangements, including competition issues arising within the CARICOM single market and the economy. So modules that will be covered within the competition short course will be the economics of competition, market definition and market power, dominance and monopolization, the effect-based approaches to competition analysis, the economics of virtual restraints, anti-competitive agreements and cartels, merger control regulations, and the use of economic evidence in court and competition procedures. So I've introduced to you very briefly the 3 upcoming short courses, and I want you to follow us on social media because we will launch on August 1st, and you will have access to the courses via the Shridath Ramphal website, which is before you on the page, shridathramphal.com/resources/short courses/SRC-short courses/. Now, this initiative represents a new approach of engaging with our stakeholders across the region because the onus is on you. The learning is on you. We have created the course and the content is all online. We still remain available and we are still very much a partner with you as you complete these courses. Should you require any assistance, should there be any questions whatsoever, you can feel free to reach out to us. As soon as you register and you pay online on our website, an email comes to the SRC and we know that you would have started the course. Upon completion of the course and the assessment, because every single module has assessment, you will be granted and awarded a certificate of completion. But you are not alone. Don't think of it as this is completely online and alone. We at the SRC will continue to embrace you as our family and will assist you as is required. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have introduced the 3 short courses and I now turn it over to you if you have any questions. I invite you to watch this space as information becomes available, as well as information regarding the launch and the opening of the courses, as well as any new upcoming short courses that we're seeking to put on during the course of the new upcoming academic year. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, any questions? All righty. As an academic, I love silence because silence means that the information and the knowledge has been transferred. Now, as I said, we remain available if you have any questions or any queries. I see on the call my director. Yes, Professor Lord. Hi, Professor Lord. How are you?
So, good morning to everyone. Yes, really, I'm jumping on just to congratulate Dr. Kian Skeets, research fellow in the Shridath Ramphal Centre, Ms. Vanessa Mason, research assistant in the center, for doing such an excellent job at bringing this particular initiative to a successful launch. As Dr. Skeet indicated, it's a new modality. The approach here really is one meant to really provide persons with the flexibility to successfully pursue, these short courses, in their own convenience and a time that, meets their needs and so forth. And she's to be congratulated, her and her team. And I should note, I don't think she mentioned it, Dr. Skeet, but this is really the start. So these are the first 3 courses in this initiative. And there are going to be a few others that will roll out as the months go by. And so, we intend to have short courses, for example, in areas such as women and trade, trade in the blue economy, Caribbean clusters, and so forth. So this is really just the beginning. We hope that by the time our suite is complete, we will have perhaps anywhere between 10 to 12 courses that persons can take at different points in time during the year. And we'd like, even though this is not currently in train, eventually, that these courses can be used to create micro credentials that will allow persons desirous of pursuing either the diploma in international trade policy at the center or the master's in international trade policy. So hopefully this whets their appetite. They can get some micro credits that can essentially then form exemptions with credit from those programs, so that persons, can see this really as a way to ladder into those programs if at the present they're not totally certain whether they want to pursue the diploma or the master's program. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for attending this launch, and hopefully we can do this again sometime soon, maybe to launch another 3 or more courses under this short course initiative offered by the Shridath Ramphal Centre. So thank you, Dr. Ski.
Thank you so much, Professor Lord, and thank you for your kind words, and many, many thanks to Research Assistant Vanessa Mason for doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And so 2 things. So we have a question in the chat as to, will the competition course have a regional focus? 1. And the second question, can I show the modules covered under customs and public procurement again? All right, so I can do 2 things at the same time. So these are the models of this competition. This is procurement, the significance of public procurement. And ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you that, yes, we are based here at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, Barbados, but these courses all have an understanding and explanation of what is happening in the current Caribbean context. But you must understand that we talk about the Caribbean, but we talk about the Caribbean as small states. What is reality in terms of customs from a Caribbean small states perspective? But still, there's a global orientation, because as these courses are aligned, we are catering to a national, as well as a regional, as well as a global audience. But yes, we will be delivering a Caribbean component in all 3 of the short courses, but it will not be such that the global audience will not be able to follow or understand. Yes, and this one is competition. Yes, Ava, Marius, yes. So this is the competition modules. But again, we remain available if you want additional information, if you want to see the outline of the course that speaks to the actual objectives, feel free to contact us as well. And no, she's asking for trade facilitation. Sure, I shall. This one is trade facilitation. Okay. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Are there any more questions? All righty. So today is a very busy day for us here at the SRC. I must make a plug. Currently ongoing, we are having our Shut Up and Write, which runs from 10 to 1 and is online and virtual. You can feel free to join us as we go into next week. It ends next week, Friday, but it's essentially a 3-hour period where we talk. No, we don't talk. We sit in a space, whether it be online, on Zoom, or in the current conference room that I'm currently in, and we write. We are trying to accomplish quite a few research pieces before the end of summer. But at 1 p.m., the research assistant Vanessa Mason will moderate a session for International MSME Days. And she is bringing an innovative session where she will be speaking to two young entrepreneurs here in Barbados and talking about their businesses as well as their challenges as it relates to regional trade. And she is coming from the perspective of the young people. It is taking place at 1 p.m. today. I invite you to follow us on social media, follow us on our Shridath Ramphal website for more information, but I do invite you to join us at 1 p.m. for the upcoming session. So ladies and gentlemen, is there another, I no see more questions. Is there core text or all reference materials will be provided? Yes, Troy, all materials fully online, already integrated into the course. From the PowerPoints, the videos, all the texts and the readings as well. And each module ends with a very brief assessment. Ava is asking, this is no writing, this is no talking, it's just writing. Yes, please. So Ava, we have had deputy deans, we have had MPhil and PhD candidates in our space for the week, writing and completing research. We've also had administrators who openly admitted to completing 2 sentences in 3 hours, but we are all here in this space to give one another company and support, but we are writing. There is no talking other than the good morning and it is time for lunch. Yes, please. All right, if there are any more questions, I hope I've answered all the questions. Anyone else before we wrap it up? All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. It is sincerely appreciated on this busy Friday morning. And I encourage you to continue to follow us on social media. And remember to reach out to us here at the Shridath Ramphal Centre if you have any queries or questions. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.